Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now today's video is going to be a selection of highlight clips from the past couple of days, basically going through multiplayer and some of my own maps. And yeah, it's been crazy. I've had some really awesome harvests, including one of my best diamonds ever. So I'm really excited to actually share this with you guys. Now, this first little clip here is of a Piebald Roosevelt Elk Cow. Now, normally I probably wouldn't include this clip into a video, however, I do now, with that cow, have a female of all of the rare fur variations for Roosevelt elk. So I hope one day that maybe we'll be able to have like a huddle like Roosevelt elk with males and or females or something where we can use the females in multi-mounts, because I've got melanistic, albino, and piebald. It would be cool to have them somehow displayed together. And like I said, normally I wouldn't include that because it is just a female rare, and you know, stuff where it's a female of a species that has antlers or horns can be less impressive. However, I still enjoy finding the rares, and I think Piebald Roosevelt elk are one of the prettiest rares because, as you'll see when we go over to her now, they have just such a really nice pattern with like the darker patches, lighter patches, and then of course the white patches. I think they're really, really beautiful. And so she definitely had to be taxed to go to the lodge just because it means I have a complete trifecta of the three rares. And also, this shot I cannot explain. I was trying to go for single lung in through the top of the back, and somehow I missed both lungs but hit liver, which it was just such a weird angle, I can't explain it. But yeah, just a nice little rare just to start this video off. We got some really awesome trophies coming through the rest of the video, and I've been really excited to actually put this out to show you guys today. So this is a clip from Yukon Valley on my own map when I was actually searching for some red fox zones to grind red fox. And I spotted a bison that I was fairly sure was melanistic, and I took a shot at it, which was really poor. But what happened after that was so cool. So I tracked him for quite a distance, and then he decided to charge me. Now, it's not very often you get a rare animal to actually charge you as it is in its final stages of actually dying. And that just looked so cool. I've been so excited to actually put this in a video. This happened like a week ago, but because I've been just doing whitetail videos, I really have sort of been keeping it back, waiting to put it into a video. But that is my second melanistic plains bison bull, and they do look really awesome, so really nice one. And it wouldn't have mattered too much if I'd messed him up anyway, seeing as he was only going to be a silver level 3. But they just look gorgeous. Such a beautiful animal. And now this is also a clip from my Yukon, and it is a little bit of a rip, because basically I was shooting foxes with the M1 just to kill as many as possible and get them down. And I took a shot at a fleeing female and I dropped her. And when I went to pick it up, I noticed that it was a piebald, and it would have been a piebald gold female. So that was a little bit sad. However, she'll just look as pretty in the lodge as she would have done if she was a gold. I'm not entirely too bothered because the fur is what matters on that one. And now, this is probably going to be the last whitetail clip you guys are going to see for a long time, because I don't intend to hunt whitetail again for quite a while. But this happened, I think, the day before I got my great one, and I was going to post it actually the day I got my great one, but obviously the great one video had to be sort of on its own and have the pride of place for the day. But I did get something pretty cool whilst I was actually grinding for that animal to pop up. And it was this absolutely giant level 3 that you can probably just see moving around there in the brush. I almost threw a shot at it with the M1 from a very long distance because I thought it was just a level 2 that had a lot of mass. And it was only when I actually saw it through the scope I thought that, it could be something seriously big. And it was. Look at that estimate, up to 303. You don't see a lot of whitetail with an estimate that goes above 300. He's just a monster, an absolute monster typical buck. That is just it's just such an incredible sight. So I decided what I was going to do was stalk into his zone and actually try and take him with the 243 with the soft points as a little bit of practice for when I saw the great one. Now, this is kind of funny to look back at, because you'll notice I only have 2 bullets in that gun left of the soft points. And well, the next bullet is the bullet that actually killed the great one. So it was just a perfect practice, this was. And basically, I didn't know whether to include this or not, but I decided I would purely because of how close I got to this absolute giant, and I just thought it was cool. It's always cool to get up close and personal with animals, and I really didn't expect to get as close as I actually did to this guy. And as I said, he was a perfect practice opportunity because I knew that I needed to actually take a shot with this on an animal that I actually wanted rather than just a random sort of level 2 85 to 100 buck. I wanted to put the risk of it's something I actually want so that I had the sort of preparation in my mind for if I was going to take that shot on a great one. And as you can see, he's walking back here into his zone now. They did spook off as I stalked in because the wind was awful, but he just walked just right in to within, like, I think it was 14 meters and started drinking. That was such a cool experience. And he did actually then go alert, and I was hoping that he would turn broadside and give me a shot. Now, I have had a lot of criticism over the past couple of days about the fact that I didn't take a frontal shot on my great one. Now, I'm going to clarify why I didn't whilst you guys are actually watching this clip of this level 3. 1. There has been times where I have shot whitetail during this grind, and it's only happened 3 or 4 times, but where I've missed the heart by like a centimetre, if that, and the shot has gone above the heart and in between both lungs and got nothing but flesh. Now, it doesn't happen very often because that is just such a weird shot. But it does happen. And with the soft points, there's no way it's going all the way through to hit the liver. So there was absolutely no point in risking a front-on shot on a great one for it only to get flesh. And the amount of people saying, why didn't you just shoot it when it walked straight towards you? And saying all sorts of things about, oh, you clearly aren't a good shot. It's not worth the risk. If you have grinded for literally hundreds of hours and thousands of kills on to try and get a great one to pop up, you'll know how cautious you'll be for that shot. And there's a lot of people I feel that don't actually appreciate how cautious you're probably going to be if you're like me when that animal finally does pop up. There's no point in risking a shot and having it all go wrong after all of that work. It's just not worth it. Especially because it's on your own map, when you can just wait for another couple of minutes, even if it takes you half an hour just to get the shot. Just wait and be patient and get that shot right, rather than take a shot that's risky and rushing it. That is exactly how I feel about it, and I thought that in this video, this clip would be an absolutely perfect opportunity for me to clarify that. But as you will have seen, I waited, went broadside, I took the shot, vital blood, and he didn't go very far. But as we pick this guy up, you will see that he's a 271.90 scoring diamond whitetail. So above that 270 limit that I said I would tax anything that went over 270, but just a monstrous looking buck. Really, really, really nice rack on this guy. I love this style, like the bigger style for the diamond whitetail. They just look so impressive. And 99.46 kilos as well. I was actually surprised he wasn't a max weight because all of the other whitetail I've had that have had this rack style have been max weight. So that was a little bit of a surprise. But as you can see, even at that distance of 20 metres, it only went through to the one lung. So there was no way I was going to risk anything other than a perfect broadside on a great one. You can see there the penetration. It was actually pretty good at that distance, but again, no reason to risk a shot on a great one when you have all the time in the world. Now, for the next clip, you'll have seen the animal there that I'm spotting. It is a level 5 fallow buck here on Te Awawara multiplayer. And I haven't seen a level 5 fallow in a little while, and this guy reminded me why I like going after them. They are such an impressive looking animal. And I've shot several diamond fallow deer at this point, but they're just so cool looking. I can never resist taking one down. It's like a mini moose. Those antlers are just so huge. And I'm one of the few people that I really do think a fallow deer great one would be amazing. There are really cool things that can happen with fallow deer antlers that a great one could have. Certain stuff with like the tines at the very back, they can look really awesome. I've seen so many cool looking fallow bucks when they get really, really big. If you don't really know too much about them, go and have a look on Google at like really big fallow from Hungary and stuff like that. There's some amazing looking bucks out there. But this guy was a 262.70, a decent sized diamond. I don't know if he's my biggest. I don't think he is because I do have a max weight diamond, but he is a monster buck nonetheless. Just so huge. Those antlers are just awesome. But imagine if they did something special with that and made that into a great one. Just imagine how that would look coming out of the trees. I think it would be really awesome. So I hope that we do get like mule deer and red deer, but I'd also really like to see a fallow deer great one. Now, moving back to single player again, I have started grinding for a pair of albino lions. And I jumped on my map just after killing the great one, wanting to look around to see if I could find perhaps, one that had popped up from the last time I'd done grinding. But what I found instead was a male lion that was a blonde. So after getting that level 7 blonde from multiplayer a few weeks ago, I now had the opportunity at a second blonde. And it's funny because this is always the way with Call of the Wild. I didn't see a male blonde lion for so long, and now I've had two within the space of a couple of weeks. He did spook off just there, and I made such a mistake here, but it was my own map, so I wasn't being as cautious as I maybe would be if it was multiplayer. But he trotted back down this hill towards me, and eventually he does go nervous and starts walking off through the brush. Now, I didn't exactly have time to get the 22 and fire it, so I whistled. Now, I've had this plenty of times where I've done this with animals and it's been absolutely fine at this range. However, this guy did not like it and he spooked off straight away from that. But it did end up meaning that I chased him for a little bit of a distance and then he gave me a perfect shot. But that there was a mistake to do. And I just thought I would include that because sometimes I get it wrong. I think everybody gets it wrong sometimes. You're not going to get everything right all the time in a game like this. But after chasing him around the lake, he came out across into this open bit and started going up this sort of little cliff face thing. And with this sort of terrain, it normally does slow animals down because they sort of struggle to navigate getting up these kind of areas. And that's exactly what happened. And it meant that by the time he got to the top, he was nervous. And that meant that I could alert him by running around and actually get a shot on him. Now, if this was multiplayer, I would have thrown a shot at him there just while he was trotting to try and get him down. But because it was my own map and he was a level 6, so had a chance at being gold, I figured I'd just spend the time. Because at the end of the day, if I, lost him in brush or whatever and just couldn't find him, I could always reset the time I had his zone. So again, no need to rush something when it's on your own map. And he eventually, sort of with the making him go alert, turned and gave me a perfect front on shot, which with lions doesn't tend to be very risky, because if you don't hit heart, you can actually get double lung. And I've done this several times with lions now, and it's actually a really good shot to take if you can get a front on shot on a lion. As long as you keep it well below the skull, you'll be absolutely fine to hit double lung. And that's exactly what happened on this guy. But the blonde lions just look beautiful. They really do stand out once you know what you're looking for with them. And as you can see, this guy was a gold blonde lion. He was right on the requirement for gold, so, not massive, but still a gold male blonde lion, my second one. But you can see there that I got that double lung shot because the lungs are very close, even at the front. So yeah, really beautiful animal and really cool to get another rare male lion. I'm hoping that eventually an albino male pops up because I've never had an albino male and it is one of my dream trophies in this game. So hopefully I'll get a respawn from one of them that ends up being an albino. Now, moving back to multiplayer, I decided to go onto Leighton Lakes to look for rare Roosevelt Elk bulls or rare blacktail bucks. And I spotted an absolutely huge set of antlers in the distance, and it was a level 5 blacktail. Now, I have only seen a couple of level 5 blacktail on this account, and this one looked absolutely huge in comparison to the other two diamonds that I had shot. So I made a nice little stalk in to get close to him in his zone, and just no mistaking which one's the level 5. That is a monster buck. There was no doubt in my mind he was going to make diamond. Absolutely huge. Now, I was using the M1, so I had the trust in the penetration and took that front on shot. Again, had that been the 243 with soft points, probably wouldn't have taken that shot. But the M1 has such a good knockdown power, and with the polymer tips, you've got such good penetration that I had no worries taking that shot at that range. I knew it would kill him. And as I walked over to him, I did see the vital blood spatters across the ground, so I knew that I'd got him really well. And just walking up to him, this is by far the biggest blacktail I've ever shot. Just the mass on his antlers looked amazing. Look at that buck. I knew I wanted to take a screenshot of him there, led on the ground, because he did land quite nicely. That is an incredible looking buck. My other two diamonds look so thin and wiry compared to this guy. And he was a 186 diamond blacktail buck. But yeah, I know from what I've heard that these aren't the most realistic racks for the blacktail, but this is by far the best looking buck for any blacktail that I've ever shot. I had a 1000 blacktail on Xbox from the old scoring system, and I don't think that even he looked quite this good. I just love how this buck looks. Absolutely gorgeous, and one that I'm really pleased to add to the lodge. Now, moving on to a clip from Silver Ridge Peaks. This is probably the best animal of this entire video, and it happened last night, and I was so excited to share it with you guys today. There's so much I need to tell you to actually talk about with the whole situation that went on with this bear, but right now, you can see there on screen, I'm spotting a legendary black bear, and it's not a common one, it's a cinnamon legendary black bear. Now, there are no rares for black bear, they have just colour phases, but getting a legendary with a colour phase rather than just a common isn't the easiest thing to do. I know a lot of people that have been trying to get one for quite a while and haven't, and basically I ended up making him go alert, and I took this shot right here, and it was a lot quicker than I actually wanted to take a shot on him. And I wasn't sure it entirely landed correctly because it felt like he was about to go back down onto all fours, and then he started running in place. So I was scared that the server was lagging, because you can see here that it's all glitchy and laggy, and so I was panicking that one, that I didn't make a good shot, and that two, that I wasn't going to be able to claim this animal. And I was thinking, then what shot could I have hit that would have killed him that quickly, that wasn't a vital? And running over to him, I was trying to get over there as quickly as possible. And the reason for this was, I had just been being followed by a lower level player, and I was so scared that they were going to come and try and take this from me, which is why I took that shot a lot quicker than I normally would have on an animal this special. And there was another player not far away either. So when I saw him on the ground and saw that vital blood, I was so relieved. And picking him up, he was a diamond cinnamon bear. And I was just looking at the fact that he made diamond and was a cinnamon, because that's, like I said, it's not the easiest diamond to get as a colour phase one. And then I noticed the score. That is a max score, 24 scoring cinnamon diamond black bear. What? Literally, this had my heart going so fast. It's the most ridiculously crazy diamond I've had in a long time. The most pressured diamond I've had in a long time. And it's amazing. This is going in pride of place in the lodge. Like I said, it's not a rare, but to get a colour phase one, it's just so cool. And it's only my second ever time seeing a legendary black bear, and both times they've made diamond. But my second one was a max score. I can't believe this. Still, like, looking at it now, it's just so cool. I'm just so happy about that. He wasn't quite max weight, only just like a kilo and a little bit under max weight, but max score. Absolutely awesome, and something I'm so pleased to have in my lodge. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully there'll be more videos like this to come now I'm back in multiplayer. Thank you guys so much for watching and for all the support you've been giving to the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.